Once again, we'll ask you to be careful as you make your way back up through the main gate. Please begin to make your way back to the main gate. 2 minutes remaining in autograph session 2. Then the Super Sportsman and the Late Model Sportsman division will be rounding out tonight's race program with our Wildcat Championship race. The high point men from Wildcat Team A and Team B will go at it in a 30-lap championship race tonight, and that will round out the race meet. Looking ahead once again, next weekend, September 8th, we'll be going to Sunday afternoons. It will be 1:33 post time. And next weekend will mark the running of the 1991 Winners Clash. So a full race card plus the 1991 Winners Clash. Then on September 15th, the running of the Stego Auto Parts Wagner Brakes Main State Enduro Championship. And then we'll round out the 1991 season on Sunday, September 22nd, when the American Canadian Tour returns for the running of the Forest City Chevrolet 100. And always an exciting show when the American Canadian Tour comes to town. And show that many of you in attendance for the Big A Auto Parts 150. And for the first time, it was a Beech Ridge regular who stole the show from the Tour cars, and that was, of course, none other than four-time champion Bob Randall. And there's a lot of speculation. I've heard a lot of people say, hey, I think one of the locals can do it again. Gonna be interesting to see if one of our top late model sportsmen once again will steal the show and capture the Forest City Chevrolet 100. So don't miss it. That is Sunday, September 22nd at 1:33. Of course, the Super Sportsman and the Limited Sportsman will be a part of that race program. Great way to round out the 1991 season. The 104, Ed Strong. The number 13 is driven by Ed Gallant. The 74, Gary Adams. And the 49, Ron Smith. Assistant starter Junior Niles atop the flag stand. Look for a start at turn 4 as the flagman asked them to pick it up just a little bit. Alan Burby, Don Miner bring him down. Green is out. Alan Burby from the pole sets the pace. Challenging now for that second place position, the 59, Frank Scott. Trying to draw it even on the backstretch. He takes over the second position. Here comes Don Tapley Jr. in the 15 to position 3. David Wiles is to 4th. Three-way battle shaping up for the 5th place position. Right now in the hands of Robert Bodwell in the 56. tangle off turn 2. Ed Strong gets the car turned about coming out of turn 2. He keeps it underway. We stay under green. Don Tapley on the move in the number 15 as he works now to the outside of David Wiles in the 29. Battle is for third. David Wiles to the inside, Don Tapley to the outside. Robert Bodwell looking for racing room to the inside. 12 cars to qualify for the main event. That last qualifier at the moment would be the 105 Glenn Reynolds. Side-by-side battle continues for the third place position. Now it's Wiles to the outside of Bodwell. Robert Bodwell and David Wiles go at it side-by-side for third. Advantage right now to the inside to Bodwell in the number 56. Wiles fighting back on the outside. Frank Scott now takes a look to the outside of race leader Alan Burraby. And Bodwell fills the inside groove. So the 59, Frank Scott, is going to have to stay in that outside groove. He's going at it wheel to wheel now with Bodwell. Advantage to Bodwell from the inside. He takes over the second place position. Frank Scott and Don Tapley go at it wheel to wheel for the third place position. Then comes Al Meserve and David Wiles. Remember, only 12 cars to qualify. Starter indicates they'll be coming up on the halfway mark. Scramble in turn 2. Wiles into the pit. Car up against the backstretch wall. That looks like Frank Scott. He's got the car underway. Track stays under green. Frank Scott now unable to move the car. That will put the field under caution. Frank Scott start to drive away from that. Evidently has the car up against the concrete. Unable to drive it away. And with 7 laps recorded on the leaderboard, we are under caution. Cars staging on the backstretch. All clear from assistant starter Junior Niles. He points to turn 4, asks the drivers to hold it even. Green is out. Alan Burraby once again with a quick jump is at the point, followed by Robert Bodwell. Then comes Al Meserve up to third. Don Tapley is to fourth. Side-by-side battle for fifth. Kurt Bean and David Raymond. They'll be coming up on the halfway mark. It will be 8 down and 7 to go. Rookie Kurt Beam on the move now, as is Ron Smith. Come up to join that top half dozen. Kurt Beam in the 42, working now to the outside of Don Tapley, challenging for that fourth place position. Ron Smith in the 49 looks for racing room, as does Gary Adams, who has come all the way from the back of the pack to knock on the door now of that top 5. Last qualifier at the moment, I believe, would be the 99 of Jim Culprit. Robert Bodwell now up to challenge race leader Burraby. Side-by-side racing for position 3 and 4. Kurt Beam, the rookie in the number 42. Challenging to the outside of Al Meserve. He goes way wide out of turn 4, opens up the middle lane for Ron Smith, and Smith is in there. Ron Smith and Gary Adams have come from the very back row. Smith is up to challenge now for the third place position. Just 2 to go. The number 49 has come all the way from the back row of this lineup. Now he's solidly in a third place position. Last qualifying between the 104 and the 99. White flag in the air, 1 to go. Smith now up to challenge for second. He goes at it side by side with Robert Bodwell. Smith to the inside, Bodwell to the outside. Smith gets it out of shape just a little bit as he's at the back bumper of the 50. Checkered flag out. Alan Burby, Ron Smith, Robert Bodwell, Al Meserve, and I believe the 15 of Don Tapley. It's strong. Fine run by Ron Smith in the number 49 as he came from the back row. But the checkered flag goes to Alan Burby in the number 50 as he comes down to the start-finish line area. Fine run by Alan Burby tonight in his qualifying event. 10 laps on tap for the Super Sportsman. First qualifying heat of the evening. All new division here at the Beech Ridge Motor Speedway. Designed to be kind of a combination of a limited sportsman and a late model sportsman car. Basically a chassis like a late model and a running gear more like a limited sportsman. All clear now from flagman Eddie Walsh. Tony Field in the number 11, Russ Johnson in the number 19 will bring the field down through turns 3, and we'll look for a start at turn 4. Flagman asks the drivers to hold it even. Green is out. They come across the line side by side down into turn 1. Still side by side. Slight advantage on the backstretch. Tony Field in the 11. Russ Johnson draws it even at turn 3. They continue wheel to wheel. Spin by David Sprague in the number 1 as he gets the car turned about at the top of turn 4. Gets the car underway. We stay green. He goes to the outside of Tony Field now. Man on the move, Tim Maloney in the number 69. Russ Johnson fighting back in the number 19. Then comes Butch Buzzell and Spike Manitoul rounding out the top 5. Tim Maloney trying to mount a challenge to race leader Tony Field. Maloney on the move on the backstretch. Tries to draw it even at turn 3. Can't quite do it. Tony Field right on the rail. Flagman indicates they'll be coming up on the halfway mark next time by. Continues to be Field, but here comes Maloney drawing it even at turn 3. They go at it wheel to wheel out of turn 4. Here comes Russ Johnson to the inside. But it's Maloney from the outside taking over the point as we're racing lap 6. New leader Tim Maloney in the number 69. Tony Field back to second, then Russ Johnson in third. Butch Buzzell is fourth. Side-by-side battle for fifth. Spike Manitoul works out and around Danny Palmer into the 5th place position. Of all that side-by-side racing going on behind him to stretch it out to a comfortable lead now. Almost a half straightaway lead for race leader Tim Maloney. He'll see 2 flags out, 2 to go. Battle is from 3rd place right on back. Butch Buzzell in the number 15. Russ Johnson in the 19. Then comes Danny Palmer and Spike Manitoul. White flag is out. 3 wide now out of turn 4 down into turn 1. Russ Johnson has to back out of it as he found himself 3 wide out of turn 4. Checkered flag in the air for Tim Maloney, capturing the first qualifier for the Super Sportsman. Tony Field, Butch Buzzell, Danny Palmer. And then it looked like Spike Manitoul unofficially in the 5th place position. Tim Maloney, 1 feature win in 1991. A strong run tonight in his qualifying event. A nice round of applause, please, for the winner of heat number 1 in the Super Sportsman division from Scarborough, Maine, Tim Maloney. first qualifying heat for the late models. All clear from atop the flag stand. Eddie Walsh, your flagman, points to turn 4. Green is up. Steve Carrier from the pole is at the front of the pack. Side-by-side battle shaping up, but Tim Land takes advantage of a little out of shape on the part of the 53. Tim Land to second, now looking to the outside of the race leader. Gary Johnson trying to gather it up and challenge Bob Libby for that third place position. Continues to be Steve Carrier, Tim Land, Gary Johnson, Bobby Libby. Tangle out of turns 1 and 2. Al Burset gets the car turned about. Problems on the number 40 of Jim Brown. Yellow flag as the number 17 sits across the entrance to pit road. Tire on the number 40, Jim Brown. Cars back in a column of 2s. Flagman asked them to tighten the lineup. All clear from atop the flag stand as the drivers glance over from the backstretch, staging for a start in turn 4. Once again, Eddie, Steve Carrier, Tim Land on the front line. Green is out. Slight advantage, Steve Carrier from the inside. Tim Land working to the outside of Gary Johnson. Then comes young Mike Mayetta Jr. along with Bobby Libby. Bobby Harrison momentarily boxed in the number 37 as he has really no place to go. Keeps looking beneath the number 3 of Mike Mayetta Jr. Up to challenge for third now is Bob Harrison as they come onto the halfway mark now. 5 down, 5 to go. Continues to be Steve Carrier in the number 83, Gary Johnson in the number 53. Then comes Bobby Harrison, Mike Mayetta, and Bobby Libby. Challenge now at the front. Gary Johnson trying to work his way out and around Steve Carrier at turn 2. He does. New leader. Working lap 7, Gary Johnson. Johnson in the number 53 takes over the point. Mike Mayetta Jr. trying to follow suit now as he challenges to the outside of Carrier in the 83. Bobby Harrison continues to be boxed in. 2 to go. Gary Johnson able to put some distance on the rest of the field as they battle side by side. Steve Carrier doing a nice job of holding off a lot of pressure. White flag in the air, 1 to go. The race is for second, and it's a 4-way battle. Steve Carrier with all kinds of pressure. Bobby Harrison to the inside. Mike Mayetta Jr. to the outside. Checkered flag in the air will go to Gary Johnson. Steve Carrier. And it looked like a dead heat between the 37 of Bobby Harrison, the number 3 of Mike Mayetta Jr., and Bobby Libby rounds out the top 5. Tight, even competition in the late model sportsman division, as evidenced by that qualifying heat. As he coasts down to the start-finish line, a nice round of applause, please, for Gary Johnson out of Hollis, Maine. Driving a Buick LeSabre, captures heat number 1 for the late models. All clear from flagman Eddie Walsh atop the flag stand. Staging on the backstretch, looking for a start at turn 4. Larry Vos on the front line with Chuck Haynes will bring the field down. Once again, 12 to qualify. Green is out. Larry Vos with a quick jump into the lead. Here comes Dave Langlis to the second place position. Chuck Haynes to third, being challenged now by the 0 of Gary Clough. Clough looks for racing room to the inside. They go at it side by side. Third place goes to the 0 of Clough. Larry Vos, rookie and a feature winner last week for the very first time in his career, shows the way, followed by another rookie, Dave Langlis. Problems on the 0 of Gary Clough as smoke pours from the 0. Mechanical failure, putting the 0 to the infield area, and a tough break for Gary Clough. Once again, just 12 to qualify, and that last qualifier at the moment, I believe, would be Dwight Shepard in the number 34. Work on a handicap system here with the high point men starting at the tail end of the lineup. Those high point men are going to grab a qualifying position in this heat. They must get up at least to that 12th place position now in the hands of the number 6 of Billy Thompson. Larry Vos, Dave Langlis, a couple of rookies showing the way, trying to put distance on the rest of the pack. Working in lap 6 of this 15-lap qualifier. Couple of impressive rookies show the way. The high point men still in heavy traffic toward the end of the pack. On the move, the 37, Larry Gelinas. Dave Bechtel still trapped at the very back of the pack, as is Kiwi Knight and Viva Norton. So for the most part, the high point men are way deep in traffic. Last qualifying position between the 34 of Shepard and the 54 of Burnett. Halfway point, 8 down and 7 to go. Looks like the last qualifier now. It's between the 70 of Morgan and the 37 of Larry Gelinas. Gelinas has come all the way from the back row now to knock on the door of a qualifying spot in the top 12. Larry Gelinas up into that last qualifying position. Problem off turn 4. Tangle involving the 38 of Viva Norton, the 78 of Fecto, and the 70. That will put the field under caution. Jeff Morgan, Viva Norton, and Dave Fecto all involved. High point man Dave Fecto headed on a pit road. Problems on the number 70 of Morgan. He'll undoubtedly take the car onto the pit road. And once again, the lead enjoyed by Larry Vos is down to Stephen. Green is out. Slight advantage, Vos in the 67 over Dave Langlis in the 93. Then comes Chuck Haynes. Donnie Morse is to 4th. Tim Gendron is 5th. Battle is for 4th. It is Donnie Morse to the outside, Tim Gendron to the inside. Then the next two, a side-by-side battle, Billy Thompson and Dennis Quinn. Last qualifier would be Gordon Nelson in the 61. Now it looks like the 25 may be the last qualifier. That's going to keep changing around, but only 12 will qualify for the main event out of this heat. White flag is out, 1 lap to go. continues to be Larry Vos with another strong performance. He'll see the checkered flag in the air, followed by Dave Langless, Chuck Haynes, Donnie Morris, and Tim Jenrich round out the top 5. Number of the top point men in this division will have to be back to try and qualify via a consolation event where only 8 positions will be available. Outstanding run once again by the rookie in the number 67. A nice round of applause, please, for Larry Vos, capturing heat number 2 in the limited sportsman ranks. All new division that has tightened up as the weeks have rolled on through the season. But the 2 cars who have tended to, 3 cars who have tended to dominate this class are the number 6, the 27, and the 14. All clear from flagman Eddie Walsh, looking for a start at turn 4. Green is out. From the outside, Steve Howard gets the jump on pole sitter Mark Field. Field finds himself now in a side-by-side battle with Kevin Durgan. Field and Durgan go at it wheel to wheel, but the lead belongs to Steve Howard. Then comes Pelton in the 27, Ken McLeod up to 5th. Pelton on the move as he works now to the outside of the 72, looks to the outside of the number 7 of Durgan. Richard Bubba Pelton in the number 27, definitely on the move. Here comes Ken McLeod in the number 6. 4-time feature winner in the number 27, 6-time feature winner in the number 6. Pelton continues to try and find a way to challenge Kevin Durgan. Thus far, he's been unable to do it. Halfway point, 5 down, 5 to go. Continues to be Steve Howard at the point, followed by Kevin Durgan. Then comes Richard Bubba Pelton in the 27, Ken McLeod in the number 6, as the top 4 have pulled away from the rest of the pack. 5th place still in the hands of Mark Field, but he has a strong challenge now from Chris Rule in the number 14. Chris Rule trying to work his way into the top 5 out of the 2-turn down the backstretch. Rule takes over the 5th place position. Back at the point, a strong run tonight by Steve Howard in the 03 and Kevin Durgan in the number 7, as they have been able to hold off the 2 strong runners here of late. Pelton in the 27, Ken McLeod in the number 6. Chris Rule closing in now, trying to join that front 4. White flag in the air, 1 to go. Steve Howard, Kevin Durgan, Bubba Pelton, Ken McLeod, and Chris Rule, your top 5. Checkered flag will fly. Steve Howard captures the second qualifier, followed by Durgan, Pelton, McLeod, and Rule. I believe this makes qualifying heat win number 7 for Steve Howard as he coasts down to the start-finish line. A nice round of applause for the winner of Heat 2 in the Super Sportsman division, Steve Howard. Car is out of Scarborough, Maine. It is an 86 Buick Century, sponsored by Bracket Machine. out of turn 4. Bobby Babb at the point. On his bumper, younger brother Barry Babb. They have Glenn Cusack challenging to the outside. Babb brothers running 1 and 2. Barry Babb looked to the inside of older brother Bob. Couldn't quite find the room. As the Babb brother combination runs 1 and 2 in the second qualifying event. Then comes a battle for the third place position. Glenn Cusack working to the outside of Andy Lou. They get together. Cusack and Lude tangle. Lude is collected by Paul Johnson. And that will put the field under caution. Andy Lude and Glenn Cusack. Obviously, hooked bumpers, and that's all it took. Some frantic work going on pit road on 3 of the top late models. While the field stage is down on the backstretch, keep your eye on that pit exit. At turn 4, green is back out. Bobby Babb has brother Barry Babb to his outside. Babb brothers now going at it side by side on the backstretch. Bobby Babb in the 4, Barry Babb in the 0. Mike Johnson looking for racing room down on the inside. Johnson draws it even with Barry Babb now. They go at it side by side for position 2. Mike Mayetta Sr. to 4th. Side by side battle for 5th. Joe Bowser to the inside, Randall to the outside. Glenn Cusack at the pit exit. The number 2 is back ready, race ready, and they're holding him for the field to pass by. He'll rejoin the field a lap, 2 laps down. Halfway mark, 5 down, 5 to go. Still no appearance by Paul Johnson or Andy Lude. Bobby Babb now with a lot of pressure from Mike Johnson. Side by side battle shaping up for first and second. Mike Johnson looks to the outside of Bobby Babb. Mike Mayetta has taken over 3rd from Barry Babb. Babb and Randall get together coming out of turn 4. It will be just 2 to go. Mike Mayetta now looking for racing room beside Mike Johnson. They'll see the 2 flags from Eddie Walsh. Strong run by Bobby Babb as he has 2 former champions now at his back bumper. Mike Johnson to the outside, Mike Mayetta Sr. to the inside. White flag in the air. Here comes Randall up to join the group. Bobby Babb continues at the point. Mike Johnson is 2nd. Mike Mayetta 3rd. Bob Randall now to 4th. Here comes Mike Johnson to the outside. Mayetta to the inside, but it's Babb. Bobby Babb captures the 2nd qualifying heat of the evening, followed by Mike Johnson, Mike Mayetta, Bob Randall, and Barry Babb. Fierce competition tonight in the late model Sportsman ranks. Capturing, I believe, what is about the 4th or 5th qualifying heat. Rolling down to the start-finish line area. Nice round of applause, please, out of Windham, Maine, Bobby Babb. All clear from assistant starter Junior Niles. Green flag out of turn 4, and the 22 Bob Barrage quickly from the point right out into the lead. A spin by the number 4. don't believe that that is Wayne Poland. We'll double check that. Rod Hughes, now the yellow flag comes out. On the pole once again in the 22 is Bob Barak. The 57, Rodney Hughes, sits to his outside. Pace car back onto the infield pit road. We look for a start at turn 4. Green is out. Side by side across the line. Barak to the inside, Hughes to the outside. Then comes the 39 of Mike Culpert Jr. Hughes making a strong move to the outside, out and around Barak. He's going wide out of turn 4. 3 wide racing out of turn 4 all the way back through the pack. That is hard to work. 3 wide and then not going to work down into turn 1. 3 cars tango up over the top of turns 1 and 2. And that will undoubtedly require the caution flag as those cars are not moving. All able to rejoin the lineup. All the drivers looking to collect points in this semi-feature so that hopefully they'll be able to get up and run in the qualifying heats, and thus a chance to run in the main event. All clear from assistant starter Junior Niles. The pace car makes its way onto the infield pit road. This time Rodney Hughes has the inside groove. Heading 85 way up out of the two. On the 2, green flag flies. And I'm sure we're going to hear from the official scoring that there'll be a penalty on the number 85 as he was passing prior to the green flag coming out. Bob Barak way up on the top of the Speedway. The 91, the new leader, Dave Culpert. Bob Barak went way wide, as did Rodney Hughes. The point now, spin on the backstretch. Looks like the 30 of Joe Green. He's back underway, coming to the halfway mark. Robbie Herrick up into second place, putting pressure now to race leader Dave Culpert. Then comes Al Burset in the 23, Chris Grondin in the 47. Flag going out now to the number 4. He'll have to take the car on a pit road as the car begins to fill with smoke. Lead continues to be in the hands of Dave Culpert rather. Dave Culpert in the 91. Then comes Robbie Herrick in the 86. Al Burset in the 23. Chris Grondin in the 47. Then in 5th place position, Paul Ross in the 138. Challenge to the leader now, Robbie Herrick driving beneath Dave Culpert. They come under caution, however, so the lead will still be in the hands of Dave Culpert in the number 91. This time, on the front line, Dave Culpert in the 91. Robbie Herrick in the 86 will bring the field down. Looking for a start at turn 4. Green is out. Dave Culpert. Now Al Burset up to challenge and take over the 2nd place position as he works beneath Robbie Herrick in the 86. Just 2 to go. Dave Culpert. Oh, problem on the 63. Al Robbins slides down up against the retaining wall. That will require a caution flag. Flat tire on the number 17 of Jim Burke. Problem on the number 30 of Joe Green. Looks like he's lost the left rear wheel. All clear on top of the flag stand. 2 laps to go in tonight's limited sportsman semi-feature. Looking for a start in turn 4. Green is out. Dave Culprit back in the point. Robbie Herrick up to challenge Al Burset for that second place position. Advantage right now out of turn 2 on the backstretch. Robbie Herrick takes over position 2. Burset is to 3rd. Chris Grondin is 4th. Richard Olin 5th. White flag is out. 1 to go. Problem out of turn 4. The 85 Scott Chapman. The 39. All cars underway. Checkered flag out. Dave Culprit grabs the semi-feature, followed by Robbie Herrick, Al Burset, Chris Grondin, and Richard Olin. Flew. As he captures tonight's limited sportsman semi-feature event. As Dave Culprit coasts down to the start-finish line area, nice round of applause, please, for the winner of tonight's limited sportsman semi-feature out of South Portland, Maine. It's Dave Culprit. As the drivers work their final pace lap in preparation to start tonight's consolation event. 15 laps on tap. Jim Culprit Jr. Danny Bubar on the front line bring the field to turn 4. Green is out. Advantage to the outside. Danny Bubar down into turn 1. Trying to work his way around Jim Culprit, and he does. Danny Bubar, already a feature winner this season and a strong runner at the point. Then comes the 99 of Culprit. Side-by-side battle. Kevin Buck. Dave Bechtel on the move now as he's up to challenge for that second place position. Dave Bechtel looks to the outside of the number 99 of Jim Culprit. Dwight Shepard on the move, as is Pee Wee Knight. All top runners looking to grab a qualifying position. Last qualifier at the moment, I believe, would be Jeff Morgan in the number 70. Danny Bubar enjoying a rather comfortable lead while the rest of the pack go at it side by side. Jim Culprit still wheel to wheel with Dave Bechtel. Then comes Kevin Buck and Dwight Shepard along with Pee Wee Knight in the 111. Last qualifier at the moment would be the 105 of Glenn Reynolds. One of the top point runners still way outside of a qualifying position would be Beaver Norton in the number 38, as he is caught up in that pack of cars, desperately trying to find a way to break free and get up and challenge for one of those top 8 positions. Going to be difficult. Light indicates they'll be coming up on the halfway mark next time by. Dave Bechtel closing in on race leader Danny Bubar. Halfway point, he's down 7 to go. Continues to be Danny Bubar, followed by Dave Bechtel, then Dwight Shepard in the 3rd place position, Pee Wee Knight in the 111. And here comes Jeff Morgan up into the top 5 as he tries to work his way around the number 25 of Kevin Buck. Eighth place position now. Going to be a battle between Dennis Hall in the 94 and Glenn Reynolds in the 105. Challenge going on up front as Dave Bechtel has caught race leader Danny Bubar and looks to challenge for the lead. Continues to look to the outside of the number 24. Dwight Shepard has closed it in, as has Pee Wee Knight. 4-car battle in the front. Dwight Shepard now looks to the outside of the 2nd place car. Spin in turn 3. And the car sitting to the low side of turn 3. Just off the race surface. 2 laps to go. Continues to be Danny Bubar. Looks like Beaver Norton is up to the 8th and final qualifying position. Caution flag flying on the field as the 79 of Phil Weber continues to sit at the bottom of turn 3, unable to refire the car. Car's back in a column of 2s. 13 laps down, 2 to go, all clear from atop the flag stand. Danny Bubar and Dave Bechtel will square off for the last 2 laps. Green is out. Danny Bubar with the advantage from the inside. Dave Bechtel fighting back on the outside. Then comes Dwight Shepard and Pee Wee Knight going at it side by side. Jeff Morgan rounds out the top 5. The last qualifier would be the 99 of Jim Colbert. White flag is out. Dwight Shepard challenging now for that 2nd place position as he works to the inside of Dave Bechtel. Checkered flag out. Consolation will go to Danny Bubar. Dwight Shepard and Dave Bechtel come across the line side by side, then Pee Wee Knight and Jeff Morgan. I believe the last qualifier was the 99 unofficial.
A chance for us to talk with another one of our drivers from the pit area here this evening. I'd like you to give a nice warm welcome to a gentleman from Steep Falls, Maine, who is the current point leader in the Limited Sportsman Division, is looking to eye over his first ever championship title. Would you please welcome forward Dave Bechtel. Dave, you're out of the frying pan into the fire, just coming out of the Consolation race, and now out here you've had a busy night tonight.
Yeah, we have. We got messed up in the heat. Had to tear off the right front fender and got it back together for the Consi and was able to qualify.
You know, I was watching you on the Consi. A question came to mind. You were running 2nd place. Danny Bubar was leading. and the race looked like it was going to run right through, and you were solidly in second place, but it looked like you were going for the win. Why would you do that when there are no points involved to gain a spot in a consolation event and no payoff or anything?
Well, every time you get out there, you're out there for one reason. You're out there to win the race. And I guess it's just in the blood. You get out there, you get a chance to go to the lead, so you take it.
The adrenaline gets going. Tell us a little bit how Dave Bechtel ever got involved in racing in the first place.
Well, back when I was in high school, I had some friends of mine that was in racing, and I got hanging around with them back home and seeing what they was doing, and I figured I'd come down and see what was going on. The person that I began helping was Gordon Nelson. He's driving the 61 Limited tonight. We were real good friends, and I helped him along on his car when he was out here racing on dirt.
Now here you sit a number of years later. You've certainly had some close runs at the championship title, racing with a lot of friends in the limited sportsman division, but now you're on top of the pile. And how are things looking at this point for you for the rest of the season?
Well, I think they're looking fairly well. We've got a pretty good lead on the point standings. The car's running fairly well. The crew is excellent. They're right there to get everything fixed when it needs to be fixed. I think we've got a real good chance. All we need is a little luck.
Have you ever really raced for the championship before? Because you've been up against some competition that sometimes comes into it so much the favorite. They get a huge point lead right off quick in the season, and it's hard to keep up with them. This year, you kind of came into it right running even with everybody. Was this the year you said this is the time we're really going to do it?
Well, I never really thought about it that much at the beginning of the season. We were just trying to run as good as we could. And first thing you know, we was in the front top 5 in points. And we just kept climbing, and first thing we knew, he was there. We don't really try to watch the points that close, but when they're there, you got to kind of look at them.
This has to feel awfully good now. You've got almost a 50-point lead ahead of Rick Burnett. According to the point system, 32 points for a win, 28 points for second place. Even if Rick Burnett, he could win the next 3 races, but you'd have to finish a number of spots back in order to give up that point lead. And Rick Burnett certainly is going to put the full pressure on. You can bet that in the next few point races if there are. But it has to be an awfully comfortable position for you. Will you approach the next few races very cautiously, or will you go just like it's any other show?
No, we're going to look at it like it's any other show. We'd like to get another win before the end of the season. I think the car's capable of it. All we need is a little bit of luck and a few breaks, and I think we'll get it.
What does Dave Bechtel do in his off time? I know racing consumes a lot of the winter months, occupies probably most of the summer months, most every summer day, I would imagine. What do you do when you have some free time?
Well, in the fall of the year, we like to hunt. I like taking my boys out and get in the woods and relax a little bit. In the wintertime, we got some snowmobiles. We like snowmobiling in the wintertime. That's basically about all we do. We work on the race car during the winter, get it prepared for the summer months, and that pretty much takes all our time up.
You mentioned the boys. This is very much a family endeavor for you.
Yes, it is. They're here every week. My wife Sandra, my son Sean and Heath. They're right behind me all the way, and that helps a lot.
Has there ever been a big inspiration to you, maybe here at Beech Ridge and also on a national level as far as a race car driver goes? Is there a national driver that has really inspired you to try to mimic maybe some of his styles, or somebody here at this racetrack over the years that you always looked up to and just hoped that you could do what that person has done?
I kind of admire Dale Earnhardt. His driving style is questionable sometimes, but he gets the job done. I really like Robbie Crouch in this area. He's a very smooth driver. He's always there at the end, and I kind of like to feel that I'm that way myself.
You mentioned Robbie Crouch, and that brings to light maybe the question of a touring car someday. Would you ever consider going on to a tour, or are you strictly going to stay at a local level?
No, I'd be interested in a tour situation. Of course, it takes a lot of money. You really need the sponsorship to do something like that. But maybe someday down the road we'll interest somebody that could give us something.
In the meantime, here at Beech Ridge, where do your plans carry you? There's the new Super Sportsman division with its doors open. You had maybe planned to step into that division this year. At the last minute, you decided to stick with the limited sportsman, and that's panning out just beautifully for you. What will you do next year? Has that come up for discussion yet?
Well, we've been kind of thinking about getting together a Super Sportsman car. We've got one chassis together now. Sponsorship kind of fell through on that particular car this year, so we had to back off and go on to the limited sportsman division. Hopefully we'll attract a sponsor so we can get that car together and get out here with the rest of the field.
Well, that's a pretty good overview from you, Dave, on where you're headed and where you are right now. Just a few point races remaining. You've got one to face tonight. What will the strategy be starting back at the tail end of the pack again tonight?
Going to the front.
Well, we certainly wish you the best of luck and hope you can get there tonight. We thank you for spending a few minutes. You're the first feature out tonight, so you need to head back and get to work over there, and we wish you all the luck tonight.
Thanks a lot, Andy.
Ladies and gentlemen, please wish him well on his championship endeavor, Dave Bechtel.
1, 2, 3. Gentlemen, start your engine. Now as they approach the front stretch out of turn 4, let's give them a nice wave off tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Wave your hat, your hand, light your lighter if you have one. Let them know that you're sending them off with your best wishes for a safe race. Clear from atop the flag stand. Alan Burraby to the inside. Don Tapley Jr. to the outside. Pace car on the infield pit road. Ready to go at turn 4. Green is out. Alan Burraby from the point. Side-by-side battle for second. Robert Bodwell now with a slight advantage from the inside. Cars scramble for position on the backstretch. Don Tapley back to third. Al Meserve is fourth. David Raymond is fifth. High Point men, of course, to work their way up from the back of the pack. Early on, you wonder how they do it, but keep your eyes on them, ladies and gentlemen. They usually do find a way. Gary Adams takes it right out over the stripe, does a nice job. Larry Gelinas is sideways on the front stretch, collects the car back up, does a nice job. Now works to the outside of the 54 of Rick Burnett. Keep your eyes on this 37. He's a hard charger and will try to find a way to the front. David Raymond out of shape off over turn 1. Loses a lot of ground but manages to keep the car straight. Car's playing a little bumper tag. 3 wide now on the backstretch into turn 3. Gary Adams way up high, running it 3 wide. Dwight Shepard also as they take the cars right out over the stripe. Risky move. Now Danny Bubar elects to take it out into the third groove on the backstretch. Risky move, but many of these drivers back in the pack will take the chance because they have so much traffic to try to get up through. Take a chance of going 3 wide and try to tuck it back in. So far, they have made it work. It continues 3 wide, racing through turn 3 to turn 4. John Makeover hung on the outside with Gary Adams. tangle in turn one involving Tim Genren. Genren is hooked up with the 74. He manages to get free of it. They get back together off over turn 3 and 4. Pee-wee Knight with a door ripped off the right side of the car. Meanwhile, up front, Alan Burraby continues to show the way. Tim Genren finally coasts to a stop at the top of turn 4. That will require the caution flag. The number 12 of Tim Genren sits disabled at the top of turn 4. All clear from atop the flag stand as flagman Eddie Walsh gives the drivers the all clear one more time as they glance to the flag stand. We look for a start at turn 4. Alan Burraby once again trying to recapture his lead. Green is out and Alan Burraby is back on the point, followed by Robert Bodwell, who tries to challenge to the outside now. Then comes Don Tapley and Al Mazur going side by side for position number 3. Alan Burraby to the inside. Robert Bodwell draws it even now. They go a dead heat across the line down into turn 1. Alan Burraby from the inside. Bodwell now with the advantage on the outside. Cars tangle on the backstretch. Ron Smith gets up over the side of the 93 of Dave Langlis. Tangle back in the pack as cars scramble both to the infield side and the outside. Last week's feature winner Larry Vos involved. That will bring the field under caution once again. Tell us it is the 24 of Danny Bubar, who sits to the low side of turn 3 right behind the sand barrier. Cars back into a correct realignment. The lights are out on the pace car. We should be ready to get back to green flag racing. There's the all clear from flagman Eddie Welch. Pace car on the infield pit road. Flagman points to turn 4, tells the drivers to hold it. Even green is out. Alan Burraby from the outside. Cars 5 wide out of turn 4. Larry Jelinas takes it almost all the way to the front. Fantastic move by Larry Jelinas, taking the car to position 4. And he's up knocking on the door of position number 3. Cars tangle in turn 3. It looks like the 68 of Chuck Haynes, everybody underway. Yellow flag once again. The 93 of Dave Langlis was sitting up at the top of turn 3. And that brings the field under caution once again. All clear from atop the flag stand as the drivers stage on the backstretch. Looking for a start at turn 4. Once again, Alan Burraby and Robert Bodwell Jr. on the front line. One has to hold it even. Green is out. Once again, Alan Burraby from the pole position. A lot of pressure from Al Mazur at his back bumper. Robert Bodwell to his outside. Tangle out of turn 2 on the backstretch. Several cars involved, among them the 70 of Morgan. He's able to drive away, as is the 42, but we still have a car on the backstretch. That looks like the 99 of Jim Colbert. Before he can get the car back underway, we are under caution. And right now, all clear from atop the flag stand, 11 laps down, and ready to restart once again. Robert Bodwell, bringing the field to turn 4. Green is out. Once again, Alan Burraby, but here comes Larry Gelinas. Up to challenge now for that 3rd place position as he works to the outside of Al Meserve. Ron Smith also up into the top 5. Alan Burraby, Robert Bodwell, advantage by a bumper to Robert Bodwell from the outside. Larry Gelinas momentarily boxed in as he finds himself at the rear bumper of the number 56 of Bodwell. Bodwell goes wide now. That opens up the inside groove for Gelinas. Larry Gelinas up now to challenge race leader Alan Burraby. On the move, Larry Gelinas in the number 37 at turn 3, trying to take over the lead. At turn 4, he does. New leader, completing lap 13 into lap 14, Larry Gelinas. A hard charger coming from the next to the last row of this feature lineup has put himself into the lead in just 13 laps. Coming up on the halfway point now, 15 down, 15. Tangle right out of turn 4. Hard into the concrete. Goes Beaver Norton in the 38 to 15 of Don Tapley up against the wall. That will require the caution flag. Beaver Norton miraculously uninjured apparently as he climbed out of his car. Talking with assistant starter Junior Niles now. Word from the radio is that Beaver Norton tells the officials he is okay. And a hard run up against the concrete. Medical team over, just wanting to be certain that he is okay. Standard procedure here at the Speedway. In any rather serious crash, the medical team always wants to check with the driver. They are over conferring with Beaver Norton, just wanting to be certain that he's all right. He has assured them that he is okay. Came out before the cars completed lap number 15. We were coming to the halfway point. All clear from flagman Eddie Walsh. Drivers staging on the backstretch, and we look for a start as they approach turn 4. This time Larry Gelinas on the pole as Alan Burraby to his outside. Larry Gelinas looking for his second feature event here. Green is out. Larry Gelinas jumps into a quick lead, brings Ron Smith up the inside to second. 3 wide into turns 1 and 2. Dwight Shepard has it right out against the concrete. 3 wide. Loses some ground as he has to back out of it. Cars continue 3 wide all the way around the track. Top 2 have put some distance now on the rest of the field. Larry Gelinas, your leader. Ron Smith is second. Alan Burraby third. Robert Bodwell is fourth. Tangle in turn 4. Billy Thompson in the middle of that, along with David Raymond in the number 3, and several other cars involved up over the top of turn 4. The 70 once again of Jeff Morgan, the 99 of Jim Culprit. And a rough night for the limited sportsman. Medical team over to check on Billy Thompson. He's out of the car, checking the car over, apparently okay. The other driver indicating he's okay. So fortunately, both of the drivers indicate to the medical team that they feel that they are okay. All clear from atop the flag stand and flagman Eddie Walsh. 16 laps down now. We are going to get there. It may be a couple of laps at a time, but you know, sometimes you have those nights. This time, Larry Jelinas and Ron Smith will bring the field to turn 4. Eddie Walsh asks him to pick it up a little bit, kind of a slow start out of turn 4. He gives him green. It's a drag out of turn 4, Larry Jelinas. Once again, the strength of that number 37. Howard's into the lead, followed by Ron Smith. Then comes Robert Bodwell trying to work his way around Alan Burraby. Gordon Nelson on the move on the outside, as is Dwight Shepard. Rick Burnett also in that outside groove. Down over the speed bumps, Danny Bubarn, the number 24, as he takes the car way down low. Apparently a mechanical problem. He was just trying to get the car down out of the way of the field. Two-car race at the front. Larry Jelinas with a lot of pressure from Ron Smith. They put about a dozen car lengths on Robert Bodwell, who is third. Then comes Gordon Nelson in fourth place position. Dwight Shepard is fifth. Ron Smith continues to fill the mirror of Larry Jelinas. Rick Burnett way out over the racing groove. Trying to build momentum evidently in the 54. Finally, slingshots by the 50 of Alan Burraby. Trying to get up into that top 5. Gary Adams also runs it way out wide, trying to advance toward the front. But it's a two-car race at the front. Larry Jelinas in the lead, and he continues to be pressured by Ron Smith. Robert Bodwell continues in third, Gordon Nelson fourth, and in fifth place now, side-by-side battle, Pee Wee Knight and Dwight Shepard. Flagman Eddie Walsh indicates just 5 laps to go. It will be 25 down and 5 to go. The scramble is from 3rd position on back to 7th position. Robert Bodwell with all kinds of pressure from Gordon Nelson, Dwight Shepard, Pee Wee Knight, Rick Burnett, and now trying to get up into that group, the 80 of Gerald Ward. So positions 3 through 8 up for grabs. Ron Smith gets it sideways across the stripe. Blankman indicates just 2 to go this time by. Larry Jelinas has put a lot of distance on Ron Smith now. Evidently, perhaps the handling going away on the number 49. But the race is still for 3rd. Robert Bodwell side by side with Dwight Shepard. Rick Burnett trying to squeeze by Gordon Nelson. White flag is out, 1 to go. Robert Bodwell, Dwight Shepard continue to go at it side by side for 3rd. And they go side by side right back through position 8. White Shepherd trying to squeeze by the 56. Checkered flag out. They come sideways across the line. White Shepherd up into third. Robert Bodwell to fourth. Gordon Nelson is fifth. The young machinist has certainly been the class of the field tonight. Records his second feature win for the 1991 season. He coasts down to collect the colors. Will make his parade lap and then be back in victory lane, and we'll have a chance to hear from tonight's Limited Sportsman feature winner. Evidently, it's the first feature win for Larry Gelinas. I thought he had collected another. I might have been thinking of Kevin Gelinas, who captured a feature event. But evidently, this is the first feature win for Larry Gelinas. So he joins a rather lengthy group of competitors to grab a feature event. Returns the colors to flagman Eddie Walsh.
A race hard fought and a first win for this gentleman to put himself into the winner's class next Sunday. Welcome, Larry Gelinas. Larry, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
I'll tell you, one of the smartest moves I think I saw all night long was around a lap 8 restart. You were the one that saw the green flag and got the jump and gained about 6 spots. Did you really plan that out well ahead of time?
I planned on catching a couple, but not that many.
Well, everybody else is kind of lagging there. I don't think they saw the green flag. It worked out well for you, and I think that really may have played into being the win. How do you feel about that?
Oh, I think I had the greatest part on it, sure.
Well, certainly this year, we've not seen you in victory lane as much as we may have in the past. You've had your ups and downs. Now you're into the winner's clash. Is the car going better than it has been, or have you just had hard luck all year?
Well, I've had some tough luck. Tonight has been going very good, though.
It certainly has gone well. You got the win, and best of all, you've got one of the coveted Maeta construction trophies from Tommy Maeta. Tommy?
Congratulations, Larry, on a great run. On behalf of Maeta Construction, and I present you this trophy.
Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, a nice round of applause for Larry Gelinas.
30 laps on tap for the Super Sportsman. Here's a look at tonight's starting lineup. On the pole from Buxton, Maine, in the number 11 is Tony Field. To his outside in the number 19 from Hollis, Maine, Russ Johnson. All clear from atop the flag stand. Looking for a start at turn 4. Green is out. Russ Johnson from the outside with the advantage as they race to turn 1. Tony Field fights back on the inside, trying to draw it even on the backstretch. Advantage continues to be to the 19 from the outside. Field back to challenge on the inside. Coming down to lead lap 1, Tony Field by a bumper. Tony Field now with the advantage as he has fought back hard to draw it even, put a bumper ahead down into turn 3. Your leader continues to be Tony Field from the inside. Tim Maloney now up to challenge Johnson for that second place position. And in the third row, it's a side-by-side battle. David Sprague and Spike Manitow. Cars going at it wheel to wheel and bumper to bumper. Tony Field doing a nice job in the number 11. Continues to show the way. Tangle in between turns 1 and 2. Russ Johnson has to back out of it, gets way up high, and he loses all kinds of ground. Hung up in that third groove and is just going to have to let the cars go by and get back down. Tangle between turns 1 and 2. Tim Maloney gets the car turned about. Involved in that, the 93 of Danny Palmer, the 5 of David Bath, the number 1 of David Sprague, the 89 of Spike Manitow. That will put the field under caution. Well, the cars are back in a column of 2s. 4 laps down. All clear from atop the flag stand. And we should be ready to look for green at turn 4. Green is out. Steve Howard from the inside. After getting out and around Tony Field with a strong, impressive move, quickly put several car lengths on the second place competitor Tony Field, who is followed by Mark Field in the number 72. Then comes Kevin Durgan trying hard to the outside now. Makes a bid for that third place position to the outside of Mark Field. Kevin Durgan in the number 7, a former limited sportsman champion here at the Speedway, still looking for win number 1 in this new super sportsman division. Steve Howard with an impressive run. Now Kevin Durgan works it up to the second place position, and he brings Bubba Pelton with him. Pelton way out wide, opens up the middle groove for Ken McLeod. Pelton gets hung 3 wide and loses a lot of ground. Tony Field able to fight back to the inside of Kevin Durgan now. And while all that side-by-side battle goes on, Steve Howard is up front just making time. Kevin Durgan working to the outside of Tony Field. Durgan pretty much worked his way by, only to have Field come right back. And on his rear bumper now soon will be Ken McLeod. McLeod up knocking on the door of the third place position. Here comes Chris Rule right on McLeod's rear bumper. So the heavy hitters now making their way to the front as Ken McLeod has worked himself up into the third place position. Chris Rule is to fourth. David Bath and Bubba Pelton following suit on the outside as they are attempting to work up into that top half dozen. But meanwhile, up front, the lead belongs to Stevie Howard. Stevie Howard exiting turn 4. Almost a straightaway lead over the second place competitor Kevin Durgan. They'll be coming up on the halfway point. It will be 15 down, 15 to go this time by. Steve Howard followed by Kevin Durgan, Chris Rule, Ken McLeod, David Bath, and Bubba Pelton. As the top 6 have worked themselves out away from the rest of the pack. Tangle in turn 2. David Sprague gets the car turned about. That will put the field under caution. Now I'm sure that's not what Steve Howard wanted to see, but it certainly is what Kevin Durgan wanted to see. Kevin Durgan to his. Steve Howard, 7 heat wins, but not a feature win yet this season. Kevin Durgan also looking for his first feature win. At turn 4, Green is out. Steve Howard with the advantage. A side-by-side battle for second. Chris Rule to the inside, Kevin Durgan to the outside. Chris Rule now able to take over that second place position to himself. Durgan back to third. Bubba Pelton is fourth. And it's a battle for fifth. Ken McLeod now squeezes by David Bath to take that 5th place position. Trying to make it a clean sweep tonight as he was able to capture his qualifying heat, and with it, the 7th qualifying win for the year. But he is still looking for feature win number 1. An impressive run tonight for Steve Howard. In the Bracket Machine Reserve and Sons Towing 03. Feature wins by Chris Rule, 2 by Scott Mulkern at the wheel number 14. A battle for that lead position, and then a battle for the 3rd place position as Kevin Durgan is looking to hold off Pelton, Ken McLeod, and David Bath. Just 5 to go, indicates Flagman Eddie Walsh. 5 laps to go. Steve Howard with about a 1.5 car length lead over Chris Rule. Rule with about a 10 or 11 car length lead over Kevin Durgan. So it's a 2-car battle at the front. And then the next 4. Anything could happen as Bubba Pelton continues to pressure Kevin Durgan and David Bath continues to pressure Ken McLeod. Just 2 laps to go. As they exit turn 4, they'll see the 2 flags. Howard now has Chris Rule looking to his outside. Just 1 more lap to hold off the hard-charging Chris Rule. Steve Howard now puts a little additional distance on the number 14. Spin in the 3-turn as the checkered flag and the caution go out simultaneously. Kevin Durgan gets it turned about between turns 3 and 4. In the checkered flag lap. A tough break for Durgan as he got the car turned about in the very last lap while running 3rd. Down to collect the colors, first time feature win in 91, Steve Howard. Obviously some feelings between the 7 and the 27. Chris Rule with a strong run, your 2nd place competitor. But a clean sweep for Steve Howard in the 03 as he returns the colors to Flagman Eddie Walsh. Once again, the 03, a Buick Century, sponsored by Bracket Machine and Reserve and Sons.
Well, if anybody mastered this race tonight, it was Steve Howard. Give him a nice round of applause for win number 1.
Thank you.
Steve, first of all, I need to present you with this Big A Auto Parts gift contingency for $50. And I have to say that this has been a long, hard-fought win for you tonight. I think a little bit of the attention is going to be stolen away from you in back of us for a moment, and we'll address that in a second. But I have to say that tonight you've won 8 or 9 heat races to date this year. Did you ever think the feature was going to come your way?
I was beginning to wonder.
What was it like out there tonight for you? Because you had a restart, you had a heck of a lead built out, then you had a restart that brought it down to nothing, and Chris Rule was there all the way.
Yeah, Chris was right there. I just figured I'd stay down low and hopefully it wouldn't go around.
They both ran a good race and did a good job. From Maeda Construction, Tommy has the presentation for you.
Congratulations on a great run. On behalf of Maeda Construction, I'd like to present you this trophy.
Thank you. I just want to thank my sponsors, Mitch Barabee and Scarborough Auto Parts, Reserves Towing, and everybody else that's helped me.
I'm sure they're very much in back of you. Congratulations, Steve Howard. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, a nice round of applause for Steve Howard.
Waiting on deck at the Turn 3 pit exit are the late models for their 35-lap feature event of the evening. And then we will round out the evening with a championship race for the high point men of teams A and B of the Wildcat division. Ready for a start at turn 4. Green is out. Carrier from the inside, slight advantage across the stripe down to turn 1. Gary Johnson trying to draw it even on the backstretch. They are even at turn 3, coming to turn 4. Advantage across the stripe, bringing them down for lap 1, Steve Carrier. Carrier continues to show the way. Now Bobby Libby up to challenge for the second place position, looks beneath the Carrier machine. They get together out of turn 4 up into the infield. Bobby Libby and Steve Carrier hook up out of turn 4. Libby is driving away. Carrier is going to drive away. At the point now, Gary Johnson. Johnson with a lot of pressure from young Mike Maeda to the outside. Bobby Babb to the inside. Here comes Bobby Harrison up to 4th. 18-year-old rookie in the number 3. Looking for his first late model Sportsman feature event. Looking to challenge race leader Gary Johnson. Bobby Babb in the number 4 and Bobby Harrison in the 37 looking for racing room. Gary Johnson gets the car out of shape. That opens up the outside now for Bobby Harrison to go to second. Mike Maeda Jr., Bobby Harrison beginning to pull away from the rest of the pack. Gary Johnson hanging on to 3rd. A lot of pressure from Glenn Cusack to the inside. Bobby Babb to the outside. Then comes Andy Loon and Barry Babb. Bobby Harrison has 2 feature wins to his credit in 91. Young Mike Maeda looking for his first ever late model Sportsman feature event. Bobby Harrison takes a look to the outside of the number 3. Couldn't quite do it, tucks it back in, follows the number 3 down through turn 3. Now we'll take a look to the outside on the front stretch. Trying to mount a challenge to the outside of race leader Mike Maeda Jr. is Bobby Harrison. The pace that will require all the drivers to back out of it just a little bit and work out and around the 71. They accomplish that, and it's a side-by-side battle from position 3 right on back through the field. Andy Lew now mounting a challenge to the outside of the 53 of Gary Johnson. Bobby Harrison gets beneath the number 3. They tangle into turn 1. Mike Mayetta tried to close the door, couldn't do it. And he is up over the top of turns 1 and 2. Bobby Babb went way to the outside. That will require the caution flag. The 2 of Glenn Cusack also up over the top of turns 1 and 2. Scoring is that the number 3 will be back at the point. Laps recorded on the leaderboard. Ready to restart at turn 4. Mike Mayetta Jr. and Bobby Harrison bring him down. Green is out. Mike Mayetta Jr. with a slight advantage over Bobby Harrison. Then comes Andy Lew and Gary Johnson going at it wheel to wheel, and then Mike Johnson and Bob Randall. Rookie Mike Mayetta Jr. with perhaps the strongest run of his young career in a late model Sportsman. Dueling with a former champion in the number 37, Bobby Harrison. Then comes the hard-charging Andy Lew to 3rd. Bobby Harrison now trying to squeeze by at turn 4. Mayetta gets the car out of shape, has to back out of it. Andy Lew now with a challenge to the inside. They get together. Mayetta does a nice job of holding the car. Here comes Bob Randall. Randall now, Mayetta out of shape again. He gets right across in front of the field and gets away with it. Coming up on the halfway mark, Bobby Harrison, your leader. Have a car spun around on the backstretch. Jimmy Brown sits facing traffic at the end of the backstretch. That will bring out the caution flag. Bobby Harrison to the inside. Bobby Randall to his outside. Then rejoin the lineup among the Mike Mayetta Jr., Gary Johnson, and Bobby Babb. All clear from flagman Eddie Walsh. We look for a start now. 18 laps down, out of turn 4. Green is out. Bobby Harrison with the advantage across the stripe. Randall fights back to challenge on the outside. Harrison to the inside. Randall to the outside. Andy Lew. Mike Johnson and Paul Johnson round out your top 5. Then comes Mike Mayetta to position number 6. Randall mounting a strong challenge. They come across the line side by side. Randall once again hard on the outside, puts a fender ahead at turn 3. Bobby Harrison fights but gets the car out of shape, and he gets turned about coming out of its 4th turn. Bobby Randall, Andy Lew, Paul Johnson, Mike Johnson, and Mike Mayetta. Wild night for the late model Sportsman. Bob Randall looking for feature win number 4 on the season. Holds about a 2.5 car length lead over Andy Lude, who is second. Then Paul Johnson. Mike Mayetta now trying to draw it even with Mike Johnson as they go at it side by side. Mayetta trying to take over that 4th place position. Andy Lude closes it up now on Bob Randall. About 1 car length behind the 91. Looks to the inside now as Randall went a little wide. Couldn't quite find room. Andy Lude once again able to draw it right up to the bumper of the number 91. 5 laps to go, indicates the blackout. Bob Randall, every now and then going just a little wide. Andy Lude ready to fill that inside groove if he possibly can. Lude has 1 feature win thus far this year. Randall 3. Paul Johnson, a 3-time feature winner. Mike Mayetta has 5 feature wins. Mike Johnson, 1 feature win. 2 laps to go. Andy Lude looked to the outside in turn 4. Will drop back down and follow Bob Randall. 1 last opportunity to challenge in turns 3 and 4. They will see the checkered flag in the air. Bob Randall claims feature win number 4, followed by Andy Lude, Paul Johnson, Mike Mayetta Sr., and Mike Johnson. Bob Randall coasts down to collect the colors. He will make his parade lap and then be back, and we'll have an opportunity to hear from tonight's feature event winner. Just 2 weeks after his impressive win in the Big A Auto Parts 150, Bob Randall comes back to claim his 4th feature event of the season in a hard-fought battle with a former champion, Bobby Harrison. Bob Randall returns the colors.
Bob, welcome back to a familiar spot for you.
This feels good. I was beginning to wonder if I was ever going to win another regular show here, but it's got to work real good tonight. I don't know what happened to Bob and Harrison, but we were having a heck of a race. That was really fun. Glad to be here. I love these Mayetta races, big trophies.
Well, last week, speaking of Mayetta races, you had the lead in the showdown race. Mike Mayetta got it back away from you. What was happening with you? Why the slowdown?
Well, we had a mismatched set of tires on the car, and the stagger went away, and the car picked up a bad push, and just one of those things.
Well, tonight,
you know, this racetrack has got, you know, probably the most competitive field of late models of any racetrack I've ever seen. You know, to get beat by any of those guys is nothing to feel sorry about. I'll tell you, it's a good bunch of guys.
well, you guys always run well out there together. You put on a great show tonight, running hard with those guys, and I know this is the one that you're looking for to take home with you tonight. Tommy Mayetta from Mayetta Construction has the trophy for you.
Congratulations, Bob, on a great run. On behalf of Mayetta Construction, I'd like to give you this trophy.
Thank you. I don't think I've ever got the first place one of you guys' trophies, but it's tremendous. Glad to have you guys sponsoring it. And all the good racing family.
I think this has to show a lot of the camaraderie that takes place in the pit area. You and Mike pick quite near each other and have a lot of fun together. Here you finished ahead of him tonight, closed down the gap that he's established in the point lead, and you're both coming down to the championship title, and here you are with the trophy.
Yeah, well, I am glad to win the trophy, and I'd like to win the championship, but you know, I know Mike's going to have some tough luck, and I got to have some real good luck. But you know, if he wins it, all the more power to him. I don't have any problem with anybody. We have a ball. Me and Mike are the best of friends. We have a ball together. We race hard together, and we race good together. And he's a heck of a guy.
And this is where you go back tonight and wave the flag when you pull into the pit stall.
Oh yeah, I'll rub it in. He told me, he says, the nights we sponsor a race, he says, I might as well just leave it right on the trailer, he says, because we never have any luck.
Well, we congratulate you again, Bob. Ladies and gentlemen, a nice round of applause again for Bob Randall.
Well underway before they get the flag. Green goes. We have a tangle in the four-turn already. Caution before we get a lap. There's a wheel off from a car and a rough start for this Wildcat Championship race. Car number 1 involved there in the crash in turn 4, and the medical team just checking. That's Mark Henderson in the number 1. We'll give you word as we get it. In considerable pain, and the medical team said it's going to take some time and they want to be very careful with him. So we are going to put things on hold so the medical team has all the time they need to very carefully get the driver out of the car. So we're just going to put things on hold here for a few minutes. And we appreciate your indulgence. The encouraging word is that he was conscious and communicating with the medical team, so we'll certainly hope that he is okay. Car's back underway in the 1 and 2 turn area. On the pole is the number 22 of Bruce Johnson. In the middle row, in the number 84, is Chuck Willoughby. Green flag is out as they approach the 3-turn. Already have a car spun about. Another tango in the 4-turn area. Race leader is Bruce Johnson in the number 22. He's followed by the number 15 of Jackie Roussel. Then comes the 84 of Chuck Willoughby. In 4th place, the number 28. That is Todd Fitz, the number 50. Steve Berry now up to third place position in the number 77. The number 50 takes over the fourth place position. He gets out of shape now, opens up the inside for Chuck Willoughby and for Todd Fitz. Johnson still in the lead, followed by the 15 of Jackie Roussel, the 77 of Steve Berry. Spin by the number 34. He gets it back underway. That's Robert Williams. Caution flag out. '76 up at the top of turn 2. That is David McIntyre. Green is out on the backstretch. The 22, Bruce Johnson, followed by Stephen Berry in the number 77. Berry up to challenge now. He works to the outside of Johnson, takes over the lead as they cross the stripe. New leader, Stephen Berry in the number 77. Johnson to second. Larry Ramsey to third in the number 38. Cars getting high up out of turn 4. Todd Fitz having considerable problems. Car spins up over the top of turn 2. Looks like 6 and the 25. The 6 is William Burnell. Caution flag out. We have a car at the bottom of turn 3, unable to get going. Green flag is back out at turn 4, and back into the lead goes Stephen Berry in the number 77. He's followed by the number 50 of Charles Roussel. Then comes the 38 of Larry Ramsey. Cars going 3 and 4 wide on the backstretch. Have a car who has spun. 2 cars turned about on the backstretch now. And a tangle. That will require the caution once again. The number 6 involved in that, William Burnell. Also, the number 15, that is Jackie Roussel. Car up against the wall there in the backstretch is the 43 of George Williams. Car on the backstretch is the 43 of George Williams, and the medical team is just going to check on him. Safety crew said that he's moving around in the car and wanting to get out, but they want the medical team to check him and be sure that he's okay. Number 7, Joseph Hennessy, back out of the pit area. Still on pit road, the 17 of Bill Meserve. Green flag is out. Approaching the time limit on this championship race. Stephen Berry in the 77. The number 8 of Clyde Hennessy lead the pack. Stephen Berry. They'll be coming to their last lap as they have run the time limit of this Wildcat race. Checkered flag in the air with the caution. Stephen Berry from Gore of Maine. Stephen Berry Jr. captures the Wildcat Championship, followed by the number 8 and the number 38 unofficially. The number 8 Clyde Hennessy Jr. The number 38 Larry Ramsey. moving down to the start-finish line area in the number 77. A nice round of applause for Stephen Berry Jr. capturing the Wildcat Championship race. Youngster out of Gorham, Maine, with a fine run. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that brings to a close our race card for the evening. If you're headed home, we urge you to drive carefully. If you'd like to stay around for a bit, the main gate will be opened up in a short while, and you have an opportunity to come out on the raceway if you'd like to. Appreciate you being with us tonight. Hope that you'll be back next Sunday afternoon. As we turn to the Sunday afternoon schedule, it will be the Winners Clash along with the full race card. So once again, thank you for being with us, and good night.